Hi, and welcome to Gehenna Gaming, where we tell dark stories and support inclusivity in gaming. Tonight we're playing Sleepaway, a collaborative storytelling game where the players not only embody camp counselor archetypes, but also parts of the camp itself. It's a queer summer camp horror game by Jade Dragon, and you can find a link to that game in chat. Sleepaway may contain themes of body horror, insects, occult themes, drama, and romance. We all know our lines and veils, and we have safety systems in place to avoid the discomfort, but if something starts to really freak you out, please prioritize taking care of yourself. But before we introduce our players and begin our game, I'd like to quickly thank our sponsors, Die Hard Dice, 1985 Games, and Session Zero Clothing. Use code Gehenna at checkout at any of these companies to get 10% off your purchase. Also, Virtual HorrorCon, the world's first entirely digital horror convention, is coming up next month. Learn more and buy tickets at virtualhorrorcon.com. Finally, I want to continue to wish everyone a happy Pride Month from all of us here in the cast and also from Gehenna Gaming. It's really excited to be running this game now. And with that, let's introduce the rest of the players. So let's go around and introduce ourselves. I'm going to have you start, Diana.
Oh boy. Okay. So I'm Diana, as you might have heard. I'm the partnership manager over at Die Hard Dice. I do a lot of horror stuff on my own. Run a lot of Vampire and now Hunter for Renegade Games. I'm writing on some stuff coming up soon, so you'll be able to play my words in life. And I'm just super excited to be here and be Gertie, the not so purdy camp counselor.
Amazing.
Hi, I'm Lex. You can find me all around the internets, on the socials, and on my OnlyFans as Redhead Vixen. You can also find my book, The Huntress Saga, on Amazon and probably other places that I don't remember right now. And I'm super stoked to play the big, boisterous, crashing bow for this game.
Humna.
Hello, everybody. My name is Humna, and I use any and all pronouns, and I am a TTRPG performer. You can find me on Twitter at @HI_, and that's where I talk about all of the different projects that I'm a part of. And today I am playing Umar Ghazi, who uses they/them pronouns, and they are the fresh blood who is convinced that they're being punked right now.
Nikki.
Hi everyone, it's me, Nikki. You can find me on Twitter at TheWigDM. I'm also with Ladies ATL. We will have more shows coming up. We're on a bit of a hiatus. And I will be playing the crafter Lapis Lazuli. She, they.
And I'm Paula. You can find me at Art and Audio on Twitter, where I will talk about the things I'm doing. I'm running Wander Home on Critical Misses channel on Tuesdays, and I'll be in Diana's birthday call of... No, I won't be. Cut that out. This airs after that.
No, it's time is a flat circle, Paula.
Yeah, that's fair.
This is all happening at the same time.
Look at my Twitter, and I'll tell you what I'm up to, because I don't know what I'm up to.
Guess I just have to do another birthday one-shot then. You asked for it.
One every month, I think, is the right way to go about that.
That's fair.
But I'm playing Amalia the Heron, and she's weird, and she might wander into a lake, and that just happens sometimes. But I think that's everything. So with that, let's tell a campfire story. So a quick recap from the last episode. We started with the ropes keeper Gertie looking for a lost inhaler of a young camper named Bernard, who dropped it on the ropes course. She was quickly joined by Umar and Bo. Much argument ensued after that, with Umar falling off of the ropes course. During that time, Amalia found herself drawn into the lake, with Lapis attempting to stop this from happening and not succeeding as Amalia got closer into the lake. Then Amalia and Bo shared a vision, and the group came to realize the Lindworm might be returning. Maybe, possibly. Is the Lindworm real? The counselors held a meeting in the old cabin where Umar saw what might have been the Lindworm in the forest. Feelings were had between Lapis and Umar and Amalia and Gertie, but Bo decided to investigate the figure in the woods. They found themselves at an overturned rowboat, sustaining some cuts to his hands before fleeing the woods. We concluded that episode with 5 campers sneaking out of their bunks to the ropes course, finding some animal bones, and then fleeing in fear. So that's what happened last time. But this time, we're going to start actually with Bo once more, the next morning after the events of last episode. Where's Bo, and what is he doing right now?
So after everything that happened the night before, Bo would have come back to the cabin where the counselors are, or his cabin, or however it's split up, and would have just kind of stood guard there through the course of the night, just watching the edge of the forest. Not really sure what he's watching for, but something.
Lapis walks towards Bo's cabin and sees Bo in the screen door, and just walks up and still knocks on the door and is like, Good morning. Glad to see you're back safe and sound and whole.
You too. I guess everyone made it back to the cabins okay?
Mm-hmm. And every camper is accounted for.
Good.
I brought you something. And she holds up a cup of OJ.
Bo takes it without question and slurps it down in Bo fashion.
Great. Lapis holds up her, it's one of those camper mugs that has a lid on it, and there's something hot inside that she's drinking from. And that cup is covered in stickers. But they're actual cool stickers, unlike the fun little ones that either cover her face or that she gives to the campers. These are like travel stickers.
Oh, cool. Bo has got a bit of the 1,000-yard stare going on, continuing to keep their eye on the edge of the forest as they're talking.
I think,
Oh, yes.
as Bo is slurping down that OJ, Bo, you get just at the back of your throat just a little too much pulp. And you almost start to choke and sputter. And it feels like you're drowning.
So, Bo, finishing off this glass of orange juice, has that very dramatic moment with the hack, hork, cough, cough, one hand on the windowsill kind of moment. Not quite bent over double, but definitely that
and I think Lapis will absolutely just have that moment of she just being smacking your back. Just, you can do it. Get it all out.
Then Bo noisily horks up this pulp and has the little bit of tears that kind of come to your eyes when you have that happen. Bo's definitely got that going on.
Oh no. Lapis will pull up a corner of her shirt and kind of brush them away. She's like, no, you're okay. You're fine. You got it all out?
Yeah. No, I'm good.
Need to get anything else out?
I think we need to keep a really close eye on the kids today.
Well, you're always very good at keeping a close eye on the kids, especially at the lake. So I know you can do that.
No, I mean,
you're good at keeping an eye out, regardless of the setting.
I think Amalia was right. I think
Amalia
it's
is
happening
always
again.
right. She's very smart. Do you believe us then that there's something is happening?
Okay, well, hello there. And you hear, coming from behind you, the voice, the very familiar chipper voice of Isadora, one of the other camp counselors that works with you. If you turn around, you see Isadora is this like 5'4", olive-skinned person with really long nails, and their hair that is like lank, black, cut very short, is dyed violet. Very similar, I think, to maybe even Lapis's own very colorful getup. They have a goatee that is dyed also 2 shades lighter than their hair as well. And they kind of come up. Well, are you two ready for today? It's a big day for the campers.
Always ready. Is
Sure
today where we do the full quilt that I suggested like last summer? Are we going to do that today?
Yes, it is. And I think, Bo, in particular, I think it's going to be a really big day because you're going to join us. The mist seems to be coming off of the lake a little bit thicker than usual, so I'm not sure if the campers will be able to swim today.
Oh, sure, Isadora. I'm good at crafts. And Bo seems very not wanting to do this.
You're gonna be great. I believe in you, and I'm sure that Lapis will be able to help you.
It's very easy. All the kids need to do is paint a square. That's it. That's all they're doing. It's painting a square that we put on a giant quilt.
So come on.
I'm going to use a move from the new setting element, Our Lady Oubliette. Exacerbate an existing isolation. Bo, when it's mentioned that like the lake is extra misty, you look out through the window of the cabin and see that, and it's sort of one of those post thunderstorm cool summer days. So you feel this like almost icy wind come through the screen door of the bunks, but you only notice yourself shivering. But it passes quickly.
Guess it's not gonna be much of a swimming summer. Not the way it's shaping up.
Well, that's okay. There'll be other wonderful memories that the kids will still get to make, and we don't need to swim to keep cool. We can teach them how to make popsicles.
That's a great idea. I mean, Camp Clear Heights has so much to offer the kids. I know, Bo, that you love the lake, and it's kind of your job and everything, but it's going to be great, regardless. Don't worry about it.
I'm so sorry. Her name was their name was Isadora.
Isadora.
Isadora, thank you. Isadora, did you already get the kids all lined up in their groups yet? Has that happened yet?
Oh my goodness. No, not yet. Thank you for reminding me. I will go do that, but I will see you two soon. Yes?
Yes, you will.
All right. Looking forward to it. And Isadora exits with sort of a little bit of a pep in their step.
And
the move that was being used in order to create Isadora was the lake's create a staff minor character, and also working to keep a secret from being revealed.
As Isadora kind of steps through the doorway, I feel like Gertie almost comes out of nowhere, and they just kind of smack into each other. And then Gertie steps over the threshold.
Oh.
What are you guys doing in here? No one's lined up yet. can't see like 10 feet in front of our faces. There's so much fog today.
We know.
I was checking on Bo, making sure that they were okay. Are you okay this morning, Gertie?
Yeah, I'm fine.
I don't have any orange juice for you yet. Would you like orange juice? Would you like glitter in your orange juice?
I can get my own orange juice. I'm really good. It's fine.
There was no glitter in your orange juice.
So should we line up the campers now, or?
Yes.
Yes.
There's glitter in my drink, though.
What are we all talking about? And Amalia's like just appears almost like she came from the lake. She's not wet or anything, but she's from that angle.
You're dewy. You're fresh faced.
Fresh faced.
What are we talking about? Are the campers
orange juice?
Orange juice.
Getting the kids lined up in their groups.
Okay.
They're making their squares for the quilt today.
Oh, you look like hell. Are you okay?
Thank you, Gertie.
Well, I didn't mean it like in a bad way.
Did you mean it in a good way?
Are you okay?
Is Isadora still here, or did she go to, do our actual jobs?
I think, actually, let me ask you, which would you like the answer to be?
I would like the answer to be no, she left.
Then yes. I think after Gertie had like bumped into Isadora, they just kind of been like, oh, sorry, and just kind of like stepped off and like gone to put the kids in their line.
Okay. So with Isadora gone, Bo kind of leans past Gertie just to make sure that Isadora has actually left the vicinity.
When you look outside, just outside of the cabins, you actually see Umar standing there.
Lapis pokes her head out. Like, oh, good morning, Umar. I also don't have any orange juice for you. Would you like some?
Hell yeah. And Umar kind of like comes in.
Yeah,
So?
that's what I was hoping would happen.
Why do you look so terrible, Bo?
This is a good morning for
No,
me. Yeah.
She doesn't like it when you say things like that.
Do they...
Bo, stop glaring. It's scary. You'll scare the campers.
Bo already scares the campers. Anyway,
Bo,
Look, just come
what
here.
What'd you see in the woods?
Nothing good. There was a lot of fog, and there was that overturned rowboat out there again.
Why would a
And
rowboat
Bo-
be in the woods?
I don't know, but it was old and new and sharp, but old. And Bo holds his hand up, and it is crisscrossed with old white scars.
I'm going to use one of my weak moves and shatter your friend's trust in you by fleeing. As soon as you kind of like show off the scars, Gertie is gone.
Guess I'm not the only one in a rough morning.
I think Amalia was about to reach out to take Bo's hand to like see closer, and then when Gertie runs, is immediately like not sure to stay or follow. I'm gonna see what's going on with her.
yeah.
Sure.
Yeah,
I
and just leaves.
Umar stays and kind of like looks over at Bo's palms. I mean, that looks like a pretty old scar, Bo. I'm not really sure. Why are you so scared of a boat? I mean, I'm sure some kids or something just probably brought it over into the forest and left it there.
Lapis definitely takes one of your hands in hers. You didn't have these before.
No, I didn't have those yesterday.
They look like you've had them a long time.
Yeah, I know what they look like.
How did this happen?
I touched the rowboat. I just had to know if it was real or not.
Actually, as you're saying this, Lapis is like following the old scar, like with her finger. just like almost like tracing it as you're talking.
In your hands, Lapis, Bo's hand starts to just feel cold. And you actually notice the tips of his fingers becoming just a little blue. No. Oh, you feel something in your mind like when an icicle shatters off a roof and just hits the ground in otherwise still winter snow. And Our Lady Oubliette has chosen a new favorite.
Well, now Bo sure looks like hell.
Lapis feels that and immediately like drops her cup, which thankfully it's a travel mug, so like it falls, it doesn't spill, but it definitely clunk onto the ground. She takes both of your hands and she's like, "We need to do something right now, right now.
Hey,
we need to do something
dude,
right now."
Why does it look like you have frostbite? It's the middle of summer.
We need to warm you up and protect all of this, okay?
No, we need to focus on the campers.
Yeah, hold on.
They're
you don't
the
want
ones
to
who are
lose
in
your
danger.
Fingers. Danger from what, Bo?
From whatever is in the
boat.
forest. Look, you weren't here last year. You don't know what happened. You have
And whose
no
fault
idea what you're
was it?
dealing with that.
And whose fault was it that I wasn't here last year?
Yours, for not being capable.
Okay, Bo. I always knew you were an ass, but the least that you could do is actually take responsibility for the way that you're an ass.
And you could take responsibility for the fact that you are a child who is not prepared.
Just because I'm younger than you does not make me a child, Bo.
No, the fact that you're childish makes you a child, Umar.
And what's this then? The way that you, walk around stomping like you own the place?
Like I earned my right to be here? Like I didn't just stick around for enough years that I got auto-passed? This isn't 10th grade English, Umar. People's lives are on the line at times.
Look, I understand that campers can drown, can fall off trees, can hurt themselves in the ropes course. I know that. I've been trained to be able to make sure that they don't do any of those things.
There are things you can't be trained for here. There are things that you're just not ready for.
I'm going to invite the Lindworm to act upon the group.
Oh, good. Oh, great.
Oh, yay! That's all we needed!
It felt right.
No, it is.
No, it was fabulous.
All right, let me draw the cards.
I love you, Umar.
I love fighting with you. It's very fun.
2 of diamonds, approaching danger, small things in pain, the flayed corpse of a squirrel. Oh no. Our next one is the 8 of spades. I'll take everything from you, destroy 3 item cards.
Oh no.
And the third one is the Ace of Diamonds. Cursed royalty, nightmares, a vivisected deer scattered on the branches.
So it says destroy all but 3 item cards.
I misread that. You're right. Destroy
it's
all
much
but
worse.
3 item cards. So if you're not in the you're correct. If you're not in the if you're not the Lindworm, leave the tab. Brain's doing multiple things at once. Select the card if you're the Lindworm and make sure you direct it. All right, come back into the tab, everyone. We have approaching danger, small things in pain, the flayed corpse of a squirrel, directed at Lapis.
Oh, fun!
Yes, suffer.
Yes.
Suffer with me.
Oh my god. I just had this scene of like, so Lapis is like, okay, you're right, we need to go deal with the kids. And so they head back to where the kids are lined up. and there's a bunch of tables, and Lapis goes to that box that has like the craft that she has prepared for the day, which is supposed to be this big thing that she's been planning for like a whole summer. And inside the craft box is that flayed squirrel.
Oh no.
Yes.
So,
Are people cool with
Yeah.
that?
No.
Part of me wants this to be a quick solo scene of just you attempting to set up for crafts with this little wrench thrown in. So,
I could see Lapis having just like thrown her hands up like, I can't be part of this fight again still.
Yeah, what's going on? We see you see this the squirrel. What do you do?
So yeah, Lapis sees the Bo and Umar fighting again, and this is not. She doesn't know what to do in these situations. She deals with conflict, but like when people just don't listen to her, there's not much she can do. So she's like, I'm going to go get the craft ready. I will see you there. And we see her following along the pathway over to the big field where all of this has been set up. Originally, it was supposed to be at the lake, but it's too foggy now. So instead, we're setting it up at the big field. There's enough space, and the table's already out. The campers are going to be here soon, and Lapis's giant box that I imagine it's like a steamer trunk that is covered in stickers, and every time she pulls it out, the campers know that there's going to be a great, awesome craft project that's going to happen. People know when they see the trunk that something exciting is going to happen. There isn't a craft without the trunk, and so Lapis is like, we're going to do the giant quilt. It'll be great, and we'll be able to perform the ritual, and everybody will be protected, and it'll be the blanket. It'll help. It'll help. Like, because in her mind, she's like, we're going to perform a giant ritual with this quilt. And so when she opens up the trunk to get the stuff out, there's that squirrel, dead and skinned and pieces scattered everywhere. The blood and viscera seeping into these pure white cloths that the kids were supposed to use. And you watch Lapis just that blue eye flares golden, and she slams her trunk closed. She doesn't know what to do. There's a moment where she just doesn't know what to do. So she sits on her trunk. She pulls out some of her yarn, begins to not that. Is it she is going to, can she do it by herself?
I think if you're going to trigger the ritual, I would give it a second because you might want the whole team there.
Then I will wait.
Because I would love. Oh yeah.
She begins pulling out. These are things from her. She opens the trunk up again. She just moves the cloth over, and she pulls out yarn and some copper wire. And she begins pulling out small little craft items that could be used for the bigger one, but she pulls it out and she starts setting things up, and then she waits for one of the counselors.
I think with that, I would like to jump to Gertie and the eventual arrival of Amalia to see what's going on there, and then maybe slowly reconvene for this ritual later. Gertie,
Sorry, I wanted to real quick use a weak move for Lapis in this moment of sadness. Be temporarily abandoned by the magic.
Perfect. Gertie, what are you up to?
I think the most mysterious probably part of what Bo had mentioned about the previous night was the fact that there was a rowboat in the woods. Mainly because Gertie knows every fucking square inch of these woods, and there's no rowboat here. She made it up. She probably slipped on the dock. I mean, she's not perfect. So I think Gertie kind of would have beelined for the tree line, so to speak, and would be actively searching for a rowboat in the woods.
Amalia finds you quickly after, because she left not long after you did, and just sees you frantically searching. What's going on? Are you okay?
She said there was a rowboat in the woods. Why would there be a rowboat in the woods?
I don't know. I feel like I know where all the canoes are. A rowboat?
Yeah, they said it was right here.
Weird. Is there maybe another reason that with you and Bo? Do you two not like each other?
They're always trying to make me look bad. The ropes course isn't the fun part of camp for a lot of kids. I know that. They love going out on the lake. They love playing in the water. They love doing arts and crafts. They love singing songs around the campfire. They don't love it in the woods. They don't love the ropes course.
I mean, I like the ropes course. And there are some kids that do. I don't know.
They'll never understand it like you do.
You could help show them. You showed me.
Yeah, but you made it really easy. I didn't have to, do things and say things.
Like, talk, you mean?
Yeah.
That's fair. You don't like that. I mean, I feel like there's some kids that you could get along well with. Some of them are sort of weird and not like... Can I tell you about something I found in the woods?
Was it a rowboat?
No. It was a letter. Was this yours? Did you leave this?
No.
Okay.
Where'd you find it?
By the tree that got struck by lightning last night.
Well, it doesn't seem like a
It was,
convenient spot
placed...
to drop off a letter. The office is the one who does all the mailing.
Yeah, but, it's your woods. I thought maybe you left something for me.
No, I mean, I'd usually just come and find you. What does it say?
I haven't opened it yet.
Well,
okay, yeah. Okay, so it's a note. It doesn't make any sense. And, yeah, go ahead.
No, go for it.
I want to know what you have.
As you open this letter, covered in dirt stains and still slightly wet, damp from the rainstorm last night, despite the fact that it's been a whole night since you had this letter, it still manages to retain that dampness to its pages. The ink that you see on it is somehow not smeared at all, as if it had been protected from the rain. And in it, when you look at the words written inside, they don't make sense to you, but Gertie, when you see it, you recognize the letter. It was a letter that you had written yourself, actually, last year, during the last time that the Lindworm had appeared. Who was the letter to, and what did you say?
I think that the letter was to the next ropes keeper. After what happened last time, Gertie wasn't coming back. The woods didn't feel the same. It wasn't welcoming like it always had been. It felt cold and distant and alien. And this letter to the next ropes keeper talks about wanting them to feel that way when they step into the woods. Wanting to feel a sense of sanctuary instead of feeling hunted. And then, of course, it goes into really great detail about which knots need to be tightest to maintain the structural integrity of the ropes course. And it also has just a few words of warning about the lifeguard. Just a couple, like, really scary, underlined a couple times. And it has a postscriptum at the very bottom that just reads, "I hope you never feel the same way that I do. I'm leaving today and I never want to set eyes upon this place again."
And Amalia, what about this note doesn't make sense to you?
I think it's I catch, like, I just look at the middle of it and it's all of the technical information about the ropes course. So my brain just, it's a handwritten manual. So this seems more up your alley, and that's when I hand it off to Gertie. And I don't see any of the, like, personal notes.
I'm going to use one of my weak moves and completely shut down and just immediately start folding the note into as small of a rectangle as I can manage and shove it in my pocket. It's nothing. It's probably just, some dumb notes from a dumb camp counselor ages ago. I'm sure it just, the wind must have blown it out of wherever it had been sitting.
Yeah. Okay. So I know that's a lie, but I also don't think you want to tell me right now, and that's okay. Do you want to look for a boat instead?
I'm going to use one of my regular moves and communicate with silence better than words can, and just kind of continue to walk into the woods knowing that Amalia is going to be one step behind.
And that's what I do. I stay a step behind. I don't get in Gertie's way, but I don't leave her. Bo and Umar, what are you two up to? Separate or together? I'm not putting you in a scene.
Which up
Yelling.
to?
You just haven't had a little character moment recently, so if either of you want to have a moment.
I feel like it's one of those cuts in the movie where there's like this real scene happening with Lapise and this real scene happening with Amalia and Gertie, and then we smash cut to Umar and Bo being like, "You don't get it! No, you don't get it!"
Yeah, I think it's like still in the middle of their argument. Lapis has left. They left a while ago, and Umar and Bo are still going at it. I think just all of these years, I imagine, of resentment between the two of them kind of bubbling up in this moment of tension. Probably for Bo due to all of this stress, and for Umar from confusion, I think, more than anything else about what's going on and about feeling like they are not being included in whatever is happening right now. And so Omar is here, I think, like at the end of their rope, and they're like pacing a little bit in front of Bo, and they finally kind of yell out to Bo, "Why are you always after me?"
Because you are always the favorite.
The favorite of who?
Everyone. All the counselors. Everyone wanted you fast-tracked. Everyone always wants you on their team. Everyone likes you. It must be so hard to be you. You know, no one ever thinks you're scary. No one ever thinks you're just like crashing into a room causing chaos wherever you go.
And Omar is surprised, I think, by this admission from Bo, and they stop pacing and look over at Bo. Are you jealous?
No.
Bo, people think that you are very capable. Yes, you scare a lot of people, although I think maybe you do that on purpose sometimes, but you're the lifeguard for a reason. People trust you.
No, I'm the lifeguard because I don't shirk under responsibility. That's the only reason I got to be the lifeguard. You know what I wanted to train to do? I wanted to train to do the ropes. That was my favorite when I was a kid. But no one else wants the responsibility. Someone has to be out there watching over them. Someone has to do it.
What about all of the other counselors? You don't think we're here trying to make sure the kids are okay? It's not just your responsibility, Bo.
I know. But bug bites and sprained ankles are different from drowning.
They are. It's true. But look, I swore I would never tell you this, but before you decided to ruin my entire career as a camp counselor, you were my favorite counselor. I wanted to be like you, actually. And so I spent a lot of time learning to swim and getting... I have my lifeguard certification. I just never told you or applied for any of this because I didn't want to step on your toes. But there was a time that I really looked up to you, Bo.
I don't think you're irresponsible, Umar. I just don't think... I don't think you'd still be the same person if you had to worry the way that I worry. And I like you the way that you are. Exuberant.
Yeah, let's maybe just... That feels a little weird.
Yeah, I heard there was orange juice somewhere.
Yes, Lapis still did not give me the orange juice, and I'm really thirsty right now.
Yeah.
I need a drink. I meant that I need a drink. Okay, so, and I think Omar just kind of like, yep, just like stretches out their arms and walks over towards the cabin door. And when they get there, they kind of like stop and look back. You coming?
Yeah. And Bo walks up and for a second looks like he's gonna do that thing where he crashes through the door first and leaves everyone in his wake, but instead checks his step and walks side by side with Umar to the orange juice.
And I assume we transition over, make our way eventually with orange juice in hand over to where Lapis is set up, ready to make some crafts.
You see Lapis sitting in the field. The tables are still bare. She's sitting on her trunk, some crafts kind of next to her on the trunk, but she has a 1,000-yard stare on her face. When she hears you walking up, the sound of the grass crunching beneath your feet, she slowly turns and you can see the golden eye, and she says, "We have a problem."
What's wrong? Do we not have enough supplies?
Yes and no. Someone is disrupting my spell. They're altering the magic. And also there's a thing I do not want the campers to see. And we need to fix that. She gets off the trunk.
Inside the box.
Whoa!
Okay, that is a terrible prank to be playing on you. I am so sorry.
Oh, the kids wouldn't do this. They don't touch the trunk.
And they sure wouldn't do that.
No, that's what's going on here.
Are we sure? Because Gomez is kind of a creepy kid. Oh, I love Gomez with all of my heart, but he's I wouldn't put it past him to find a dead squirrel and put it in your trunk.
To find one? Sure. To do that?
Gomez can be misunderstood at times, but he would never hurt art. He's a very artistic soul. And certainly wouldn't treat desecrated remains this way. This was done by whatever is causing the mist and the scars and... Yes, so we need to fix this the only way that I know how before the campers get here. And that is with magic. Take seats. On either side of the trunk, we must make a triangle.
Shouldn't we just,
Shouldn't we wait?
get rid of it? Get a garbage bag and some Lysol and...
That won't get rid of the bad. We have to get rid of the bad first. We have
That's
to get rid
fair.
We have to bring the magic back.
But Lapis, shouldn't we wait for Amalia and Gertie?
It would be better with more people. Okay.
I don't know, if the two of them want their little private time, we could leave them to it.
And Omar looks really confused because I don't think they're very in tuned to the relationship threads that are going on amongst the older counselors, so this just goes right over their head. They're like, what?
Oh, Umar.
This is the won't they or won't they angle.
Yeah.
Did you say won't they or won't they?
Lapis looks at you confused, but she says, why would they need alone time? There's so much that needs to be done right now. The magic needs to be kept so that whatever is happening right now doesn't completely take over. Umar, I'm going to have to... No, wait. Bo, Gertie doesn't want you in the woods. Bo, can you please go find Gertie and Amalia and bring them out here? Umar, we probably should clean up a little bit, but there's no way we can get the bloodstains out of all these squares. We'll just have to get rid of the most of it, and then the magic will take care of the rest, but we need everybody here before the campers get here. Okay.
I'll go find them.
Great.
I think with that we cut to Bo in the woods. And I don't think it takes him that long to find Gertie kind of trudging ahead and Amalia very quietly matching step.
Sorry, wait. I just wanted to... I keep forgetting about these. Would this count for Bo and Umar for their lures? No, probably not.
What is my lure?
Every time someone acknowledges that you can learn what they can learn from you, probably not.
I don't think that one's been triggered.
No.
No.
What about
I
Bo?
think-
Every
I
time
don't
someone
think-
asks you to help stay afloat. I don't think that one works either. Never mind.
Not quite.
Trying to trigger those lures.
Right?
To get them.
It's all good. But Bo, you come across Gertie kind of trudging forward through the woods, and Amalia sort of calmly matching pace. And the puppy.
And Beckett is here too.
Puppy.
Go lay down. So Bo sees them, and are they sort of coming out of the woods, or are they still actively searching?
I think actively searching, since no one has come to tell us something's happening. Unless
I don't
Gertie.
know that it's really all that intent on searching. It's more just like avoiding the rest of camp. Like, I should look for this rowboat.
Golly gee, where is it?
So Bo comes tromping up and shatters that not quite silence that comes with the forest, where it's alive with noise but still quiet. Bo's voice just tears right through that level of zen and is like, "Hey, we gotta get back."
What now?
I'm
I'm trying to find where you hurt yourself.
Well, we've got another problem.
Who hurt themselves now?
I don't know, but
Did Kings lose
Lapise's
their fucking Bernard's inhaler? Is it gone again?
probably. No, we have a dead squirrel in the art supplies.
Who put a dead
Okay, well-
squirrel in the art supplies?
We think Gomez?
No, he would have held a funeral.
He would have held a seance.
We would have all known the squirrel was in the box if it was Gomez.
It's true.
So did it
But-
like get trapped and starve?
No. There's kind of a mess.
That's really bad.
Yeah.
Are you messing with me? Is this messing with someone? Is that what this is?
No.
You know
Okay.
Yeah, let's all walk together. The three of us can all walk together back to, what was it, the field?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And we will figure out how to fix it for now, but I think we all know what happened there. And that we need to make sure it doesn't get worse than that.
Yeah.
And I think while the three of you are kind of coming and Umar and Lapis are trying to clean up the area to prepare it for your arrival, Umar like puts on some gloves and is getting ready to go and take this squirrel carcass out of the trunk. But when they look over to grab it, the squirrel is actually gone. In its place instead are a variety of different, what appear to be taxidermy tools. There's like a scalpel, there is a mounting stand, there's some scissors, ear openers, all of the other, like just an assortment of tools that somebody would use for taxidermy in their place. The blood stains still present against the trunk, as if somebody had as if somebody had killed this squirrel inside of this trunk. Like the blood is kind of like splattered on the inside. So there is still evidence of that, but the carcass itself is missing.
And I think that's when Amalia, Bo, and Gertie just burst out of the woods, I think having done the entire walk in a very tense silence. And just into the field. So there's a squirrel body? What's going on?
Yeah, in the box.
Oh.
Not anymore. There isn't.
Did you take care of it?
I was going to, but come here. And Umar
You were
gestures
messing
for.
with me.
I wasn't messing with you.
Okay, maybe something else that's scarier was messing with us, because I still see some blood.
That could just as easily be paint.
Okay, but
Lapis is always getting it all over everything.
these tools weren't here before, though. Were they, Lapis?
She would turn and she would look down and she would look up and she says, "No, I don't. Nobody here does that." And then she looks confused for a moment. I think.
Okay, well, what do you want us to do about tools?
Nothing. We'll get rid of the tools, but we need to do a ritual around this. The bad is trying to mess with my magic, the magic, and we have to put it back into balance.
I don't know. Shouldn't we be like cleaning silverware or folding napkins or something? There has to be a better use of our time.
Amalia grabs Gertie's hand and just gives it a squeeze. I think we need to do this.
Bo is definitely nodding along with Gertie, like, yes, that's the smart idea.
Gertie looks like she's about to continue arguing after Amalia says we should just go with it, and then she notices Bo nodding and immediately clamps up and stops.
I think there's no harm in doing it. I think let's just take care of it.
Last time I smelled like sage for a week.
No sage, just yarn and some trinkets, and I'll need the three of you. Amalia, I need you to act as the ground, so you won't touch anything.
Yeah,
but you'll keep this space safe. I know you will.
I'll stay away.
Uh,
I think we're triggering the spell crafting ritual at this point.
We are, but just real quick before we do that, Lapis is going to use a regular move, and she's going to take action, leaving herself vulnerable, and she's going to reach forward and very, very gently touch the back of Amalia's hand, like in a both a comforting way and in a like very temporarily closing the space, and says, "I know you're not dangerous. I know you will help. It's okay. I still want you here, even if it's at a distance. Okay?"
Okay. And I think with that, we're going to take our break. So I'd like to once again thank our sponsors, Die Hard Dice, 1985 Games, and Session Zero Clothing. Thank you so much for making this game possible. Check the chat for links, and we'll see you shortly.
easy to...
I'm bored.
We can go scream at the cat for another hour.
Nah, I'm tired of screaming at the cat.
Shut up with that! Be bored no more with 1985 games. Enjoy their vast variety of products and help bring your tabletop to a whole new level. With easy-to-use dungeon sticky notes. The deck of stories holds prompts and adventure hooks for any setting, and thousands of cutout game pieces with their dungeon craft.
You've come all this way for nothing, fool! The princess is mine! You'll never get away with this, Malachor!
Write everything down in your Hero Notes journal and start your adventure today! Visit the World Wide Web address 1985games.com and find many helpful products such as their Dungeon Craft series, battle maps, deck of stories, miniatures, dungeon notes, and now VHS dice. Again, that's 1985games.com.
And welcome back to Sleepaway. A reminder that this is a horror game and you might see some body horror, insects, occult themes, drama, and romance in this game, among other spooky things. We're going to jump right in with this spellcrafting ritual. So let me tell you a little bit about the spellcrafting ritual. Anyone can craft a spell. Certainly the crafter is the best at it, but all have much to learn. Crafting a spell is the crafting of spell beings. I have a typo in here. The crafting of spells can be perhaps alone, perhaps as a group. It is a slow and careful process, both the creators of art, the action, and the action of the ritual. The magic is not forceful, but instead subtle. Its presence is felt through quiet actions and silent gifts. You would be easily forgiven for assuming the magic doesn't exist. Many do. And perhaps, out in the world of concrete and steel, it doesn't exist. But for now, there is the magic. The ritual is done with a piece of paper that you can draw on freely to create your magic spell. We gathered supplies at the break, so let's jump in.
Nikki's very enthusiastic about this. Lapis has everybody sit at the four corners of, or not four corners, the four sides of the trunk. And she begins handing each of you a loop of yarn. And she says, we're just going to play Cat's Cradle. And this is to symbolize us stitching the magic back together. It's also to symbolize us tying these loose ends back together, making bond stronger. And that's all you have to think about is strengthening bonds for the campers, strengthening bonds for the camp. That's all you need to think about while we're doing this. And then when we're all done, it should be fixed. Sound easy enough? It's really just about your intentions. Just you being here and helping.
Does the cat's cradle get the blood out of the box? Or do we still have to do that part?
We'll see.
We're gonna need the Lysol, yeah.
Oh, come on. We've done lots of these wards with Lapis. They've never failed.
Yeah, they have.
Lapis looks like... When? When has my wards ever failed?
I mean, not from personal experience, but am I the only one who remembers last year?
That wasn't me.
Right, but you said that your wards have never failed. You know what? Let's just do it. I promise not to tie knots or whatever.
Oh, you're supposed to tie knots.
I promise to tie knots or whatever.
Perfect. Okay. So the first move that Lapis will start is she will describe the metaphor with the string. So strengthening bonds and connecting with the yarn. And so that's when she will begin. And she puts the yarn between her fingers, and then she literally just reaches over and grabs Umar's string and then wraps it around her finger. And she's like, yep, that's all we have to do.
Gertie's gonna kind of reach over and almost like she's like feeding a dog that she doesn't really know. She's gonna just like really slowly reach for the string that Bo is holding on to and just kind of like wait for her to approve of the action. Wait for him, to approve of the action.
And Bo sort of nods, but it's definitely a bit of a like, I don't know.
I'll take the string, and at first it's very clearly the wrong string. And then I'll drop that one and then grab the other one and just pull it back.
In contrast, I think Omar's movements are more precise and quick because I think they remember playing this game, doing this ritual with Lapis in the past, perhaps as a camper, not as a counselor. And so they're kind of like weaving in and out of all of the different strings of bows, Gerties, and Lapises a little bit more dexterously.
Seeing that Umar knows what they're doing, I'm just going to hold perfectly still, like a statue, until it's done.
And then Lapis she's like, okay, perfect, great. Now we need to get it off of our fingers, and the way you do that is you just run it on the edge of the trunk so that it'll slide right off. So you do that, and you see this web of yarn that you have created. And then Lapis will pull out a piece of paper. She's gonna write a word on a piece of paper, and she's just gonna write protect. And then she's gonna fold it. She's gonna ask, who wants to light the edges of the paper?
I'll do it. Omar pulls out a lighter from their
Get your own. Great. Perfect.
from their pocket, and they flick it once and hold it against the edge of the paper.
Don't burn it entirely, just singe it.
And they do. They pull back.
Then set it in the center of the web. And then Lapis takes the ends of the cat's cradle and she ties it above it and just essentially just makes like a net for this piece of paper inside. And then she'll say, well, that should do it. I hope it works.
I would like to invoke the Lindworm to act upon us.
Yeah.
Mechanically speaking, at any point you can remove this item from the corkboard and destroy it in order to negate a Lindworm's play. That does not have to be this one. We just have that now.
Yes. So it's a piece of paper that says protect inside of a cat's cradle.
And I will also say, meanwhile, Amalia is using her weak move, Get Lost in Misery and Ennui, and is just in the far away, 30 feet away in the field, and just looking sad.
You guys playing Cat's Cradle over there? I love Cat's Cradle!
That looks really fun!
All right.
How could you do this to us, Gertie?
Look, if there were a more appropriate time, I cannot think of one.
No. I was actually going to do it myself, but then you did it. And very good.
Our first card is the Ace of Hearts. The smell after the rain, dewdrops on grass, nostalgia found in the mud. Create and add a new item to the web. The second one is the Eight of Diamonds. Sudden pain, sharp unease, coyotes howling in the darkness. And the last one is the Six of Clubs. Confusion, mists pushing people against each other. One camper lashes out against another. Who? Why? You are not the Lindworm. Stop looking at all that. And the Lindworm, make your selection now, and be sure to direct it. All right. Let's come back in. We have confusion, mists pushing people against each other. One camper lashes out at another. Who? Why? Directed at Amalia. Fun. Cool. Love it. I feel like during the ritual, then Amalia just wandered off. And, like, towards the bunks. Like, someone's got to be with the campers. Yeah, I think she wanders towards the lake, actually, because if she's not thinking about much, she's going in that direction. And she like sits and waits for a little bit, but then sees Gertie and Bo getting along, and is like, I don't have to intervene. It doesn't look like it's going to break out into anything. And like everyone's getting along nicely. In Amalia's mind, it's like they'll be fine, and wanders off towards the lake.
I think as you approach the lake, you see a bunch of the campers have gathered around this area, and you can hear all of this like hubbub going on. There seems to be like a ring that has formed around two campers in particular, and as you get closer, you can hear the voice of Anahara yelling out, like ringing out across the lake. Give it back to me, that's not yours.
The other voice, very clearly Gomez, says, you gave it to me. It's mine now. That's how that works.
I did not give it to you. I was showing it to you. That jacket is mine.
It looks better on me anyway. Can't you just let me wear it for the day?
No, it's important to me. Give it back. And they like kind of like lunge forward to try and take it from Gomez.
As she hears the argument, Amalia immediately just starts looking for anyone else who is available, and then sees that like most of the counselors are either out of sight or in the field doing this. And Amalia just rushes past the like wall of campers. Hey, what's going on?
I think it's exactly at that moment that Gomez pushes Anahara, right? Anahara away with such force that they actually kind of like trip backwards into those first couple inches of water on the lake shore, and maybe fall. I'll leave that up to your interpretation.
Yeah, I think Anahara like falls to their onto their butt in the water, their hands kind of coming down behind them to brace their fall, and they can feel the mud beneath their hands. Like a snarl comes over their face. They grab a fistful of the mud, and as they get up, they like throw it at Gomez's face. What the hell?
Okay, we're gonna stop right here, and you two are gonna explain to me what's happening, and I'm gonna get in the middle of them.
You are going to be hit with a very forceful Gomez as he flings his full body weight at Anahara. In the process, kind of almost ripping off the jacket in question to throw it into the lake.
What are you doing? And Anahara like
it's
rushes.
It's a stupid jacket anyway.
Okay,
you're stupid, Gomez.
I think as the jacket gets flung out, the mist begins to grow thicker.
Yeah, Amalia's not cut out for this. I think Amalia's just gonna reach out and like grab onto Gomez and just like hold Gomez in place for a second. Okay, we're gonna need to talk about this.
No, they started it.
I'm sure that's true. Let's talk about it. What's happening? What happened? Explain it to me.
Anahara gave me their jacket, and so I was wearing it, and then they got all weird about it. It's a stupid jacket anyway. I only wore it because you told me to.
Anahara, what happened from your perspective? And I'm using my regular move, keep steady through the turbulence.
As you say that, you turn. I assume you were like looking at Gomez to talk to him and to hear his perspective.
Yeah.
And as you like turn to hear Anahara's, you notice that Anahara is like in the lake at this point. They are trying to swim out towards this jacket, and the mist is creeping in on them slowly but surely.
As the mist is creeping in on them, you can see that the jacket is being slowly pulled out into the middle
I'm going to use my regular move, remind someone of proper safety techniques, and with a voice reminiscent of Bo's, Amalia's going to engage some like power and like, I'm going to need you to stop doing that. I'm going to get the jacket, like with as much force as she can muster.
And Anahara, only being about, 12 or 13 years old at this point, stops. And you can see the tension in their shoulders as they turn to look at you. And they've started, like, tearing up a little bit. Not crying yet, but there's clearly emotion behind their eyes. Please, get the jacket for me.
Amalia wades into the lake and comes up to Anahara and uses my other regular move, the question, ask, does your character want to cry about it? And doesn't ask it, and just like touches Anahara and like gives visual permission, like you're allowed to feel these feelings, as Amalia passes by and sort of sends her back to the shore.
And I think as Amalia, like, as Anahara feels this pressure of Amalia, this comforting pressure, I think you hear, just in that moment before you send them back to shore, you hear like a little sob, gasp escape their chest. And they steel themselves before walking back out.
As Amalia makes her way towards the shore, the mist closes in around Amalia. Amalia, as you continue to walk forward, the lake begins to feel deeper and deeper. That jacket is just inches away from you when you are now wading water.
Amalia's going to think about the promise she made to Gertie about not going back to the lake. Like, just chest deep in the lake, and use a strong move, give a name to the fear, and single it out. And just say, I know you're here, not now. And I'm going to reach out and grab the jacket. I'm going to need you to let me back, okay?
There's a pause, and it feels like the current beneath you. This is a lake. Like the currents down here don't get very intense, but it feels almost like a rip from the ocean, like something trying to grab your legs and pull it. And for a brief moment, you think it's not going to listen and just pull you under, but it doesn't. And the mist begins to slowly part.
And Amalia is going to take that moment, not question it, and just start full on swimming to the point that she probably ends up swimming in like ankle deep water until she feels sand like under her chest, and will like get out of the water then to the campers. I have the jacket.
Anahara, seeing Amalia, will rush over, grab the jacket, and probably grab Amalia in like a big hug in the process, and just start sobbing.
And go ahead.
I was just gonna say, Amalia, you would notice up until this point, Gomez had looked almost smug. But after seeing you disappear in the lake and then come back out of the mist, and Anahara's reaction to that, like the puffed up chest and the sort of like half smile falls. And Gomez is just kind of like, you can see him working over in his head, like, okay, I should quietly just wait to apologize.
And while hugging Anahara, just a comforting hand. Amalia's not good at this, but has seen other people do it, and is trying to like replicate, just letting these feelings through. She's going to use another strong move and turn to Gomez and ask, what does your character need right now? But again, not verbally. just like giving him silent permission to just take up that space.
I'm sorry, Anahara. I didn't realize it was that important to you. I'm sorry. I was being a bad friend.
And Anahara pulls away from Amalia, jacket drenched in their hand, gripped so tight. And I think as they pull away, Amalia, you actually see a little bit more of like the patches on the jacket. And you recognize some of the patches. And you realize this jacket used to belong to one of the campers from last year. That's okay. Just, Gomez, don't be... And they look over at Amalia. Because they were about to maybe say something that they shouldn't have said in front of a camp counselor, and they catch themselves. Just, we'll talk about it later.
Okay. I'm really sorry.
It's okay.
I'll help you
And Amalia,
try it off.
And Amalia, you recognize, or you realize, I think, in this moment, that this jacket, the camper that it belonged to last year, was Anahara's older brother.
Amalia's just going to like file that away for now, doesn't want to rehash anything or cause more problems, and just says, okay, everyone, so that's been solved. Why don't you all go find Isadora? I'm sure there's another activity coming up. Maybe we can canoe when it's less misty or something. Get out into the lake for fun. But go ahead. I'll be right behind you. And she sends the campers away and just turns back to face the lake. Thank you for that. I know I can only delay it, but just don't hurt the kids, please. They're not part of this. And then, yeah.
The mist seems to kind of settle just over the surface rather than that large cloud that had been present for most of this. And as it clears just a little, you, for just a hair of a second, it looks like you see pale white eyes looking at you. And then they're gone.
And Amalia turns around and starts making her way back to the field to see if everyone else finished up. Just drenched.
I think you come back to a scene of that net that had been created with this burned, or like this singed piece of paper inside of it in the trunk, and the four of us, the other counselors, kind of standing around it, looking at it. I think probably Gertie and Bo maybe a little bit skeptically, and everyone kind of like expectantly looking into the trunk, waiting to see, did it work?
Lapis, and she is going to open up the chest, and gotta take that away. And at first, the inside of the chest looks dark, like there should be a light switch in there, and you can't really see anything. But as soon as it opens, it. Oh, somebody. I didn't know if you were going to use that.
Yeah. I want to use one of Our Lady Oubliette's moves for us here.
I was gonna use the magic.
Awesome. What are you doing, Dan?
I'd like to offer an empty delight in lieu of what is demanded. So where we expected the scene, as it were, to be cleared up, and the tools to be gone, and for everything to be righted that had been wronged, you open the lid and instead you don't find a corpse, you don't find taxidermy tools, you don't find blood on the walls of the box itself, but you do find on the scraps of fabric that had been inside the box, the blood seems to form a pattern now. It's the crest of Camp Clearview, Clear Skies, whatever camp we're at.
Clear Heights.
Clear Heights.
Clear Heights. I think
The
you named
perfectly
it,
flat
Diane.
Clear Heights.
Perfectly flat.
Did everything go well? Amalia comes in just dripping wet, but is not acknowledging that.
Lapis looks at it and she says, as good as we are going to get it. And she turns and she says, all right, campers, you have these really pretty patterned squares that you all are going to decorate, and we're going to make our camp quilt. It'll be great. Lapis is going to use a weak move, be temporarily abandoned by the magic. She was hoping it would be completely gone, but still there.
Amalia's going to leave Lapis to start doing this project with the campers and kind of look at the rest of the counselors kind of nervously, like, what happened?
What happened to you?
I sorted out the problem, and now it's not a problem anymore. A camper lost their jacket in the lake.
So you went in alone?
I mean, you all were busy, and
It's a jacket.
I'm fine.
Oh wait, was this Anahara's jacket?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's not just a jacket.
It's her brothers, right?
Yeah.
Or their brothers?
Yeah, their brother last year, I don't know what happened, but they went missing. Never came back.
Okay, but you went into the lake alone. Am I the only one who sees a problem with that?
I also
It's
see a
the
problem
lake.
with that.
It was fine.
It's
This
just a
time.
lake.
I'm shutting down my own emotions. Weak move.
It's not just a lake. She could
Lakes
have
are
died.
dangerous. Exactly. You can't just go out there like that. You know better.
Okay, I understand this coming from Bo, but Gertie, come on. Amalia knows how to swim.
Umar,
Right? You do know how to swim, right, Amalia?
if
I do, yeah.
if you had an ounce of care for anyone at this camp, you wouldn't let them get in that lake alone.
Okay, you're all acting like this lake is a monster trying to pull you in, trying to drown you. It's just a lake.
And Bo looks at Gertie and kind of gestures like, you see what I'm dealing with?
Have you ever seen someone drown, Umar?
Thankfully not.
Okay. Well, then you can just stay out of this. Amalia, you promised me you wouldn't get in that lake alone.
Stay silent when you should be speaking up. Another weak move.
Answer me.
She's gonna run to the woods to escape a problem and just leave. And take a token for it too, because that's your lore.
Gertie, what the fuck? And Umar is going to, I think, like shake their head and follow Amalia into the woods that they're not supposed to be in.
What are you doing?
This
I'm
is
gonna
your
follow
problem.
after Umar.
Chaos. Just chaos. Not one person here can keep their shit together.
And I
As
think
Lapis is behind them with like the kids, like, yep, these are normal craft squares. Super duper normal craft squares.
No squirrel blood here.
everything's fine. I think as Amalia is running into the woods, is there any particular place in the woods that she is looking to go?
Yes. She has a favorite tree that is right like at the closest point where the woods get close to the docks, so she can see out over the lake, and she is just making a beeline for that tree.
I think pushing some like branches out of the way, Omar like kind of comes over, huffing a little bit, and finds Amalia sitting by this tree. Amalia, you are faster than I thought. Hey, is everything okay?
Well, Gertie's mad at me now, so that's not a fun place to be in.
Gertie gets mad at everybody, so... And I think Umar like kind of like nudges Amalia a little bit and like sits down next to her.
I mean, they're right. I should not have done that, but I don't think... I think I'm the only one that can go in the lake alone, and I don't want to say that to them.
What, you think you're the best swimmer here? Don't say that in front of Bo.
I mean, that's a different thing. But do you remember what happened last year? Has anyone told you?
Well, and I think Omar like puts their hands behind their head and like rests up against the tree trunk. I wasn't here last year. I mean, Bo made sure of that. I was too old to be a camper anymore and not yet allowed to be a counselor, so I wasn't really around.
Right. I'm gonna use 2 of my strong moves in a row. Confront something everyone else has been avoiding and show someone another time and place. And I'm gonna hold Umar's hand, if I'm allowed to, and just look out on the lake, and you start to see where there was just an abnormal amount of mist. It is now like a wall of mist coming out from the lake, just moving out, and then slowly we're just in a cloud of white where all we can see is each other and maybe the tree. And you find yourself struggling to breathe slightly. And you see in the mists in the distance, as if it's standing on top of the lake or just abnormally tall within the lake, is just an elongated creature identical to the one you saw in the woods.
Amalia.
And Amalia is holding very tightly to your hand.
Amalia, what's going on?
It's okay. This is what happened last time.
What is this? And Umar's eyes dart over to the figure in the lake off in the distance. What's that?
That's what's back. And she doesn't say anything after that, but
those were just stories. No?
I think when you ask that question, the woods seem to stir around you. They're going to express the wood's pain. So a really strong gust of wind comes through and it shakes all of the trees, and you hear branches snapping and leaves coming loose. And it's as if the woods around you is letting out this low, deep growl in response to your question.
Okay. So, what happened to you? And I am specifically using a strong move where I ask what changed for Amalia.
Amalia takes a moment and sort of almost lets the gust of wind settle, like the woods needed its chance. And Amalia says, "This all happened last year, and the camp was blanketed in this mist, and no one could breathe, and everyone was coughing, and it was scary for everyone. Gertie and Bo are scared, that's why they're mad. I was in the lake alone when it happened, and that didn't happen to me exactly. I don't know what did, but I know for a fact that I didn't die, and I think that was a choice that was made."
A choice that you made, or... Okay. You got really close to it. If you were in the lake and it was in the lake.
Yeah.
And I think Omar's hands grip Amalia's a little bit tighter. How did you make it out?
I don't remember. I was just ashore, and everyone was recovering from the mists. I thought I had died. I might have.
I think it's at this moment that Amalia, you probably see her first. Gertie is perhaps 10 feet away, sort of leaning against the base of one of these trees, just listening from a distance.
And I think when I notice Gertie, this like vision, this like overlay over where we're at is just goes away, like blows away in the mists, and we're back to the normal misty view.
Omar takes a big breath, finally being able to breathe again. I didn't know that this was real. Nobody, how did we not know as campers? I mean, it never seems to make itself known to the kids. Didn't to me when I was a camper here.
You heard of the Lindworm?
I have, because you all tell stories around the campfire.
It was a story. That was easier. And campers are very good at believing things.
We shouldn't be in here. It's getting dark.
I know. No one wanted to explain it, so I did.
And Umar looks over at Gertie, kind of sheepishly, nods. Yeah, it's getting dark. Let's head out.
You aren't supposed to be in here ever.
Blame me for that one.
I'll try to stay out of your woods, Gertie. And as we walk out of the woods, I think Omar's eyes keep turning back towards the lake, towards where the Lindworm had appeared. It's no longer there, but Omar can't help but keep looking.
So, what are you up to?
I think Bo actually walked towards the lake. After everything, leaving Lapise in charge of the kids, once again, Bo has taken it upon himself to go do something on his own and has walked towards the edge of the lake to make sure, or I suppose telling himself that he's making sure that all the campers have moved away, that everything here is safe and as it should be, but has instead just found himself standing on the dock staring out at this lake again.
As you stand there at the edge of the lake, you hear Lapis kind of rushing forward like jogging. She gets over there. She's like, "We're not done yet."
I couldn't watch those kids use those squares anymore.
No, yeah, it was awful. Yeah, no, I know. That whole magic bit is ruined, but it's okay. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. There'll be more magic. Like right now, you are still too cold.
And Bo looks down at his hands, which are in fact very, very cold and are not being made any more warm by standing by this cool lake with the breeze coming off of it. I'm fine. I'm not worried about it.
She grabs your hands and she drags you over to one of the benches and sits you down. She says, "Look, I know. Look, I know you feel really strongly about keeping up the staying tough in front of everybody and being a rock. That's great. That's great. I appreciate that. It's something that I've noticed about you. But you are very obviously holding something back with this whole cold thing. And I want to help you. Will you let me help you, please?"
Oh. As the question's being asked, and you kind of feel the answer well up inside of you that you would normally have, it's almost like a patch of sunlight kind of hits you just right so that you feel the warmth. And I'm going to use one of the field moves and invite a moment of healthy communication.
I was just about to make it be a lie, so good time.
I was just about to do something else also awful, so this is good.
Guys, we have to have bright spots. This is camp, goddammit!
You have to have, hurt and comfort. The comfort has to be here.
Diana says, "Get along, goddammit."
Yep. Which is ironic in a way, but...
So Bo opens his mouth, clearly preparing to give another of those "I'm fine, don't worry about it" kind of responses.
It was definitely one of her regular moves, by the way. Like, does your character want to? Yes. Anyway, continue.
But instead they pause and reflect in this moment of sunlight, and I don't think I belong here with everyone else.
Sits down next to him. Why do you think that?
I don't think anyone here even really likes me. I'm always on my own. Every interaction I have turns into a fight. Even when I'm trying to agree with Gertie, it just turns into a fight. Amalia apparently doesn't want anything to do with me this year. Umar... I'm all alone here, and I've never been alone at camp before.
Well, I'm right here.
I know.
And other ones are here too. And the campers, they see you. They look out for you. They don't approach you because you're terrifying, but we would notice your presence gone if you weren't here.
But would you notice my presence was gone because you'd miss it? Or just because I'm really big?
I'm going to
And
use
it'd be
the move,
both. Oh, go ahead.
exacerbate existing isolation. And Bo, once you ask that question, it feels as if you just know the answer.
Oh, Oh. Lapis is going to use a strong move. And she's going to ask, or she's going to say, just because you would be gone. Because Bo would be gone. And she's essentially asking, does your character know I care?
And it's clear that Bo
She
misinterprets
puts her
that
hand
answer
on top of your hand.
It's clear in that moment that Bo misinterprets that answer, and the answer is no, he does not know she cares, because we'd miss you just because you were gone just says we only like you because you're here.
And Our Lady Oubliette would like to ask, won't it be nice to put this all behind you and trigger being forgotten?
Oh
ritual.
God.
Let me tell you a little bit about that ritual real fast.
Do you have to?
I think so. I think I started it, so I'm gonna have to. They turned their backs on you. Was it because of what you said or did? No. Right. She promised you it was because of what they are. Liars, cowards, bullies, all the things you're afraid you might be. But you're not. She said so. She said they're jealous of you, how you're her favorite. You are her favorite. And now she's promised you one more thing. Promised you that you can freeze your memories of this entire summer and the summers before. They can't hurt you once they've been frozen, as long as they stay frozen. All you have to do is forget and be forgotten. But for now, there is only Our Lady Oubliette. Use this ritual when Our Lady Oubliette makes her favorite forgotten. I think I'm going to give you all a moment just to read through it real fast, especially the ending, because there is a conditional ending.
Question. Is it just Bo in this scene, or is it both me and Bo in this?
We are actually all in the ritual.
All in the ritual.
It just centers around Bo. So
I
when
like-
the character makes a memory forgotten, it can be anyone.
I like the idea that as Lady Oubliette's influence affects the camp, it's affecting all parts of the camp. So this is happening in all of the disparate areas throughout camp, regardless of where we are or who we're with.
Yeah, we all start to feel cold. And I think it's also leading into the fact that we've all been fighting.
Mm-hmm.
Does anyone have any other questions or need to continue reading the ritual? Once I get thumbs up from everyone, we'll jump in. Cool. Love that. So I asked, won't it be nice to put this all behind you? And if not every move is taken at least twice, we will see what happens.
I think to start off, Bo, you start to feel that same chilling coldness that you felt inside of the bunks earlier this morning. This time, however, you notice that Lapis standing in front of you seems to feel it too. It's not just you this time. And as you look down at your hands, the blue of your fingers starts to spread up into your palms and onto your forearms a little bit. And you can feel the tips of your fingers start to go a little numb. The sensation there isn't as strong as it used to be. But it feels pleasant, almost. You're not worried the way that you should be when you start to lose feeling in your body. It feels like being enveloped in a hug that is so tight that it makes you stop feeling anything else. It feels sweet, almost.
The sensation continues to swell. And it becomes almost familiar, recognizable, like being buoyant. And in that same moment, the tension, the fear, the anxiety, the anger that you've been holding, you feel it simply melt away. And in its place, at the forethought of your mind, a soothing balm begins to spread. You can feel the pain being erased, the fear being erased. Yeah, maybe parts of you are going with it, but it certainly feels worth it right now.
With that specifically, I would like to argue that Diana has just invoked the move. The favorite chooses a single word in their playbook and forgets what it said before. If that's okay with you, Diana. It sounds like Bo is forgetting a little bit of themselves and who they are.
So I think I need to know what it means by forgets a particular word in the playbook.
I homebrewed that, so all I was thinking is you delete a word from a move or change one or just make it
Okay.
in your playbook language.
Okay.
So I have a question.
Yes.
One of the moves here is a character loses a memory shared with the favorite. Say it aloud for the last time.
Yes.
Bo, would you like to forget things, or would you prefer that we forget things?
There's a move
Porque no los dos.
There's a move for both, so the second and third are both directions.
And we have to do each move at least twice?
If we want things to end well, as I slipped in that only Bo can end this ritual, and it's up to him to win.
Woof.
I'm keeping count.
I would like to hear what Bo forgets.
Wait, before we move on, I just want to resolve the previous move, and I would like to know what word did you forget, and did you replace it with something? And if so, what did you replace it with?
So I think I'm going to replace, or actually I'm going to forget, one of my appearance descriptions was proud body, and I think I'm going to forget the word proud, because in this moment, Bo is just a body.
All right.
And then you wanted to know what memory Bo was forgetting? So I think when Bo was young and at camp here, it was mentioned earlier that he actually really enjoyed the ropes course. So the memory he is going to forget was that first moment that he fell in love with it, when he was high above everyone else, when it was just him and the trees and the air, and there was just this moment of freedom that really encapsulated camp for Bo. And that's not there anymore.
As Bo's fingers begin to turn blue, Lapis sees this and jerks her hand away, and in that moment, she thinks about the first time she got a crush on Bo, and it was he was helping out one of the campers. They were crying, and you had this smile on your face that looked like the sunset on the lake, and Lapis absolutely felt warm and tingly all over. And that memory disappears.
And I am going to remove a card from the cork board. I'm not sure if it's actually on there or not because I didn't look carefully enough. But I am going to remove the stick that had the star sticker on it that he used to get out of the forest last night.
All right. It's been removed. And wherever Amalia is, going back to what Bo said about like Amalia maybe not wanting to hang out anymore, just not doing that anymore, your memory of the most recent time that you and Amalia sat on the dock together and just looked out on the lake and enjoyed the silence of each other's company, an act you did often. I would even say you lose the memory of it in the literal sense. You just think, did she actually want to be doing that? Was she humoring me? Was that real at all? And it's lost in that way.
There was a moment when Gertie and Bo were both campers together. They actually had their first year of camp together. They were in the same cabin, so they were in the same group. So they spent a lot of time together. And that was Gertie's first time away from home. Like in a big way. Everything about camp felt wrong. There was no grounding point. There was no reprieve from this constant anxiety of not feeling like they were supposed to be there. And the only person, not a camp counselor, not one of the other campers, the only person who noticed this and did anything about it was Bo. And it wasn't even a big thing. There was one night where Gertie was having a lot of trouble falling asleep, kept tossing and turning violently in her bunk, just kicking the blankets off, and Bo from across the room noticed this and got up and just came over and sat beside the bed for a while. Didn't say anything, didn't do anything, just waited and created a safe space so that Gertie could get comfortable and fall asleep. And wherever she is, that memory begins to fade. And it disappears for Gertie.
On the heels of that memory disappearing, Bo, I would like you to pick. Who forgets the memory of the conversation between Bo and Umar this morning in the cabin? The one where they were finally able to reconcile just a little bit of their differences, say something true and honest out loud in between them. Is it Bo or is it Umar?
I think Umar forgets it.
And so they do. As they are, wherever they are with Amalia and Gertie right now, probably traveling back together from the woods. This empty space in Umar's memory forms as they're looking out back towards the lake, back in the woods, towards where they think the lindworm might still be from what vision Amalia showed them. They suddenly feel this question come on the tip of their tongue, but it's a question that they can't say. They don't even remember what they were going to ask. And they assume, this must be the lindworm. And they don't even question it and keep walking.
And I am going to change a single word in my playbook again And where it says a little brother who misses you, that is going to change to a little brother who is missed. I think the rest of them are mostly on me. I need to see the corkboard again to remove one more.
The first move and the fourth move need to be taken one more time. Hit our quota if we want to.
I will take the fourth one because it's my job anyway.
Oh, you did it then. Never mind. Fourth move just needs to be done one more time.
I just got like a twofer on that.
Yeah. I missed it. So yeah, if one more card is removed from the corkboard, we are in the clear.
I'm gonna... I am going to... I am going to remove the holding hands. Because retroactively, Bo can't remember anyone reaching out and taking his hand during this whole thing. Not when we were scared when the tree got struck. Not when we were comforting Amalia when we pulled her out of the water. Not once does Bo remember anyone reaching out to comfort him. And I think that's all of it. So, that, I believe the ritual ends with, I can't forget, pleasant though as it may be.
And if after every move has been taken twice, and the statement is said, then each character in turn has a flashback to an erstwhile forgotten memory. And the ritual ends. So these aren't the memories we forgot during the ritual. These are moments from our past that we just had forgotten naturally. So we'll go around and do that based on who has one in their minds.
Just to clarify before we do that, above the table, did these have to be, I assume these are flashbacks to memories with Bo?
Sure. The text there is all the text that it provides.
Okay.
So
it doesn't have to be with Bo.
No, I think it's just all of us felt a cold. This all happened to all of us in differing amounts. And we all have a quick, vignette flashback describing a forgotten memory.
I have one.
Go for it.
Last year at camp, Bo and Lapis had gone to the woods, and Lapis remembers seeing Bo and then seeing Amalia with the charms. What Lapis now remembers is the look on Bo's face in sheer terror as Lapis was pulled into the part of the woods that we don't go into anymore.
Gertie remembers perhaps 3 summers ago, her first summer as the ropes keeper. Actually, when Umar was still at camp. Umar had requested a special walkthrough to see if they could do a speed run through the ropes course, and Gertie was all too happy to oblige. Umar had just finished up the last obstacle and was sort of half doubled over, panting. Gertie went over to check on them, and there was a moment of just sort of knowing connection there. Gertie realizing that Umar had the same appreciation for this place and this feeling and this freedom as she did. Except when Umar leaned in, Gertie saw something past Umar in the woods, in the branches of the oldest tree in the forest. Its bright eyes penetrating even through the sunshine in the middle of the day. And when Gertie turned back to Umar, they had hidden their face with their hand and seemed embarrassed about something. They never talked about it again.
I'm panning over to the person in question. As we're walking out of the woods, the memory that flashes through Umar's head is, I think, one with Lapis. This was also, I think, a few years ago, the last year that Umar had spent as a camper, and it was during a craft night. And Lapis was sitting with Umar, who had a bloody fist, sitting there very angrily, haughtily, as Lapis was trying to calm them down. Because Umar had just punched one of the other campers for some reason. They had said something to them that pissed them off. And lately, actually, Umar had been getting into quite a lot of different fights. And Lapis was there to talk them down, to talk them through it, to talk through their feelings. And this was the first time, maybe, that anybody in Umar's life had acknowledged that there was something different about Umar that they weren't saying out loud. And I think Lapis, this memory that is flooding through Umar's head right now, is the first time that somebody, anybody, had acknowledged the fact that Umar is trans. And that that's okay. And that maybe you shouldn't take out your anger on other people. And I think that was a really pivotal point for Umar in their life in general, to have that kind of support.
Amalia, as part of the trio walking back through the woods, has a memory from many summers ago when most of the counselors here were campers. Specifically, Amalia, Gertie, and Bo going out on the canoes for the first time with one of the counselors in charge of that. Before any of this meant anything, before it was a ritual to go out on the lake at all. And it was just, we were assigned a team with a counselor to go out, and we were just splashing each other and giggling and just having a good time. We probably didn't know each other super well. And we just kept splashing the counselor with water, making jokes about how we were going to throw each other off the sides of the boat, and just having a really wonderful time. And there was no clouds in the sky, no mist. It was a warm day. And there wasn't anything extra. There was no magic. There was no lindworm. It was just the lake.
And Bo remembers their first time at camp. The first day they got here when they were just a little kid, first time away from home. And that feeling that there could be a home away from home, that there could be family apart from the family you'd known, and just how welcomed they'd once felt by Camp Clear Heights here.
And with that, I think that's where we're going to leave our story for now. I want to give a quick thank you to everyone who tuned in. Thank you to our subscribers and supporters on Patreon. And of course, thank you to these incredibly talented players for breaking my heart multiple times in a row. If you're interested in learning more about Gehenna Gaming, join our Discord or visit gehennagaming.com. And thank you all for hanging out with us.